Hey guys, how y'all doing? Hopefully y'all are doing good. We can't go a day without something stupid going around because a couple of upsets happen in the first round of the playoffs. Before I get to that though, because this to me is just so dumb. But before we get to this, if you are new to the channel and you love hockey like I do, if you love talk, Jersey talk, which this one I plan on upgrading this to a prime green here hopefully soon, because this is a Climalite. But before, like I said, if you guys are new to the channel and you love hockey like I do, it would be awesome if you would hit that like button, hit that subscribe button too, and if you want to be notified of any future videos that come up, tap that little bell to turn on the notifications, and you'll be notified anytime a video of mine is uploaded. So, apparently, there is an NHL insider who is now, because of the Panthers coming back and beating Boston, they're now claiming that it was rigged, that the game was fixed. And he actually put a video in the thing, which he tagged the FBI in. He actually tagged the FBI in. And the clip that he has is, and why he's saying that, the fix was in or the game's rigged, is because the goal animation for the Florida Panthers, when it came up, Panthers logo in red that said goal, like about 10 seconds before they actually scored the goal. Like, that stuff's never happened before. Like, technical issues like that have never happened before. I should know, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in wild games during the regular season. This happens. It's not being rigged. It's just, this is another, and of course, this kind of dumb thing comes out, which then, of course, this is going to lend to the whole idea. Well, this is why we need to change the playoff format, because we don't want to see upsets. Upsets are what make the Stanley Cup playoffs the best playoffs out of all the sports, out of all the four major sports, because you get stuff like this that can happen. You don't see this in the NBA. You don't see this in, you rarely see this in the NFL. You certainly don't see it in Major League Baseball. So the Panthers come all the way back from 3-1 down in the series to force overtime in Game 5 with about a minute left, force overtime there, end up winning it in overtime. Then they win Game 6, 7-5. I mixed the games up in my video that I talked about the Bruin collapses. I mixed up games 5 and 6. Game 5 was the other one that went to overtime with under a minute left, just like Game 7 did. I mixed up games 5 and 6. So I thought I'd just clarify that. It was Game 5 that went to overtime, that the Panthers tied it with under a minute to go, or around a minute to go, and then, of course, Game 7. But claiming that, the fact that this is something that really? Rigging the game, we're gonna rig the games. Like it wouldn't be a good thing for the NHL to have a record-setting 65-win team make a run. You're gonna rig it so they get knocked out. Really? Seriously? Just like you're gonna rig it so Seattle can knock out Colorado. Just because the league wants to make more money, so they're gonna rig the playoff games because of a technical issue. Like I said, I've seen that happen watching Minnesota Wild regular season games. And I've seen it done both in the Wild's favor and the other team's favor. Right before a goal is scored, they accidentally, the graphic accidentally comes up. It happens. They're not rigging the games. It just, it's like what in the world? And of course, now, you hear this stuff, and now it's got Bruin fans going and saying, oh, so that's why we lost. We lost because they're rigging the games. They're rigging the games against us. No, you lost because you didn't play like you did during the regular season. Your goaltender was hurt. You didn't play the way you played in the regular season. You looked like an unstoppable machine in the regular season. You didn't play that way in the playoffs. The NHL didn't rig the series against the Boston Bruins. The Florida Panthers were playing playoff hockey for a whole month before the playoffs ever started because they had to fight just to get in the playoffs. So every game they were playing was basically a playoff game. They came in, they wanted it more. Bottom line, they wanted it more than the Boston Bruins. The Bruins came into the playoffs, they choked. They didn't play like they did in the regular season. To say now that, this is why they lost. So the series was rigged against the Boston Bruins. Don't give me that. Just so dumb. I read stuff like this, and it does. I read stuff like this, and it literally makes my head hurt because it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I mean, That's why the thumbnail for this video is me going like this. This is just so dumb. So they rigged the series against Boston. So did they do that against the Colorado Avalanche too? The statistically greatest regular season team of all time, they rig the games so they'll lose. So they do that against the defending Stanley Cup champions against the Seattle Kraken? Why? Because Seattle was a pesky, scrappy team, and they just showed how bad they wanted it. So, just I don't get it. I just think it's so dumb. Just the fact that they're trying to come out and say, well, Florida won because the games were rigged. Oh, jeez. It makes you look like really? But again, this is what sparks the people who go and say, we need to change the playoff format. We need to go back to the 1-8 format. As to which then I always continue to say, do you not see the wild card matchups? Wild card, the number 1 wild card and the number 2 wild card are the 7th and 8th best teams in the conference. They play the top 2 seeds. It is basically 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. The only thing is you don't have the 3, 6, 4, 5. In 4, when I did the video looking at the 1 versus 8 format, the matchups that were different were going to be the 2-3, the matchups between number 2 and number 3 in the divisions. They were going to be different in the 3-6 versus 4-5. Those are the only ones that were different in both conferences. You still had 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. The Boston Bruins were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. The Florida Panthers were the number 8 seed. Out in the West, the Colorado Avalanche were the number 2 seed in the West. The Seattle Kraken were the number 7 seed in the West. This whole thing of, it just, people don't like upsets. This is this kind of stuff that makes the playoffs fun. But when you get dumb stuff like this happening, going and saying, well, this is why the team lost because they rigged the result. No, that to me is an absolute crock. And the fact that I even have to talk about this just to get it out of my head, because it just proves how ludicrous something like this is. But Again, I know this is what's going to spark people to go and say this is why they need to change the playoff format. Not understanding that the wild card matchups are the same as the 1 versus 8 format. It's 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. That's the only thing. The only difference from the 1 versus 8 matchup is the divisional matchups. You get the number 2 and the number 3 teams in each division. It's not 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, because you'll get some different matchups. And some people like that idea. I like the divisional matchups. I think it's great because it gets that divisional rivalry going. That's what makes it fun. And yes, some people will say it gets old seeing the same teams play 2-3 years in a row. Well, then some of these other teams need to get better. Have some of these teams get better so they can knock those teams down and get some new teams in there. That's what you do. But yeah, that's my kind of vent for the evening here. Is now, because Boston lost, the NHL's rigged. They rig every series. Because Colorado lost, they rigged that series too. All these are rigged. I said it makes my head hurt when I read and hear stuff like this. But let me know what you guys think. I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you really think the NHL is rigging these series against these really good teams? Or, for these really good teams to lose? Or is it because the other teams just wanted it more? To me, the other teams wanted it more. I'd love to know what you guys think. And again, if you have not done so yet, it would be absolutely awesome if you hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the little bell to be notified of any future videos that come up. And again, a top seed gets bounced, and there's always somebody that comes out with an excuse as to why. The NHL is rigged. They rig these games. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later.